Andrew DeRigo wants to get to the NHL. A skating treadmill can help get him there.
All right, stay low. Nice and low, down into the knees.
So show the studies by Professor Kelly Lockwood.
It's covered with plastic slats, so it has the same feel as real ice, but a higher coefficient of friction. The reason we use skating treadmills to train skating mechanics is by virtue of increasing speeds and elevations, you can elicit a biomechanical response from the athlete. So you can actually change the way they skate.
We'll get to how that's done in a moment, but first some basics. There are two phases to skating. When the leg goes out, that's called the push. When it comes back, that's the recoil.
Nice long stride.
If you wanted linear speed or maximum speed, it's a long, hard push, a quick recoil, so you push again.
That's it. Long stride, quick recoil forward.
To develop that, Lockwood speeds up the treadmill.
By increasing the speed of the treadmill, you're going to elongate the stride or increase that stride length.
Back. So drive that knee up into my hand.
The treadmill can go 48 kilometers an hour. The best skater will hit about 40.
If you wanted quick acceleration or quick off the line, it's a shorter stride length, all right, and a higher turnover rate.
To work on that, she increases the angle up to 45 degrees.
By increasing the elevation on a treadmill, you can increase the speed of recoil.
Especially during short, intense sprints. What are the goals of the treadmill?
Longer, harder, faster, without fatigue. What we're looking for is those third period legs.
Go, 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 go. Nice.
Although scoring goals is the ultimate performance factor, you've got to get to the puck first.
Pick up the straps. Bring them
I
up
had
on
to
your
give it a
knees.
try.
One arm in there, one arm in there.
The safety harness attaches to the ceiling.
No matter what happens, you'll stay suspended to the ceiling. There you go, you're good.
I feel very,
You're good.
very clumsy.
I'll soon be very grateful for the harness.
Big step.
Oh,
Oh, up you come.
That'll be good TV.
Good job. Go for
Soon there'll be
stride
even
down
more
the
good
ice.
TV.
Good. Excellent.
Okay, I'm all right.
The very first study that we did looked at habituation, or how long it takes a skater to become familiar with a simulated device. And the truth of the matter was it was under 6 minutes.
And get that upper body up just a little bit
yeah.
higher.
You're right, you're right.
Bend the knees down.
Sure enough, this time I succeed.
And slowing it down. Good, that's much better.
Thanks.
Okay.
The skate itself is something Lockwood also studies. As you'll see, her latest research is on skate sharpening.
Although we spent a lot of time looking at how well we develop athletes or the physicality of the athletes, we often neglect the point of contact with the ice, which is essentially the bottom line.
Jeff Lang is a bottom-line guy. He sharpens the skates for the Edmonton Oilers.
They're in those skates more than they're in their shoes. So they're all pretty picky about their skates.
Take defenseman Jeff Petry. He uses blades with a radius of contour of 11. The radius of contour is the curve of the blade from front to back. If you put the skates toe to heel, they'd form an 11-foot circle.
Most steel comes with 11-foot radius already put on the steel. If he would just like that, then boom, you can sharpen it and he can go.
But Petry wants a change.
What we're doing is we're just going to find the blade center.
Then he takes it to a machine called a profiler. Petry's preference is preset.
A 35-65, basically meaning that 65 millimeters of the blade will be on the ice, and 35 of it will be on the front part of the steel.
When the skate left the factory, its apex was centered. A 35-65 pitches the blade forward. After 28 passes on the grinder, Petry's blades will give him a forward lean. Defensemen tend to like their body weight on the balls of their feet.
We're gonna set it up for Jeff Petry.
Next, another machine. He uses a metal quill to round this grindstone. Then he runs the bottom of the blade on it. This gives the blade its edge, or radius of hollow. The radius of hollow is the groove down the center of the blade. A 1/4-inch groove is a deep hollow, sharp. 3/4 is shallow, duller.
A shallow hollow will facilitate speed. A deeper hollow is going to facilitate a bite angle, and a bite angle gives you grip.
Petry uses a 1/2-inch hollow.
I've kept a 1/2 inch for a while now, and I know there's a lot of guys that go duller than that, but it's just something that I've used for a while, and it's worked, so I didn't want to change it.
That's not entirely true. There are times he will change it.
If I feel like I'm digging in too much and, you know, legs are kind of heavy, then I'll have them dull it, and it seems to, you don't have to work as hard coming out of the turns.
More players should dull down their blades. That, according to Lockwood's research and Lang's experience.
We do have players that are, you know, 200 and 220 pounds, but like a very sharp skate.
And a lot of mass on top of that bite angle will make the athlete push through the ice.
Causes friction, and with that friction will then start causing a little bit of fatigue or stress or strain on any of the joints or the muscles.
So here is what they recommend.
The larger the weight, the more shallow the hollow. The lighter the weight, of course, under the 100 pounds, your younger kids, the deeper hollows will help them grip the ice.
My thinking always is rather get them on top of the ice than in the ice. So basically having a flatter hollow will keep them on top of the ice.
At the end, a little lubricant goes on the steel.
Basically what that's going to do is put a nice finish on the bottom of the steel. And then the most important thing is to have both edges level. Basically what you want to have is the inside and the outside edge to be the same.
Each sharpening shaves off a little bit of steel. 1/3000th of an inch, 8.5 microns. But the skates are sharpened so often, a player goes through 24 blades a season. You need to keep a sharp watch to get a winning edge. This is where BAUER makes skates for the pros. They sure don't make them like they used to.
If I go back to the predominantly leather skates that I wore as a kid, you know, they were basically a boot. It was the boot making craft with a steel blade attached to the bottom.
And this is today, the NXG. Exactly how it's made is a secret. The Director of Development, Chris Langevin, can't show us everything. Here is what's out in the open. This new skate is meant to answer old problems.
We felt that at one point the skates were getting so stiff and cumbersome and were limiting your range of motion. It's good for walking, but not necessarily good for flexing forward, like what you need to do in hockey.
They designed the skate to be stiff at the sides for support, but still flexible enough there and at the front and back to improve range of motion in the ankle. They tested the design at McGill University, BAUER's research partner. The researchers used a number of gauges inside and outside the skate.
So this one here is going to read vertical force, so as people are skating down, we'll be able to read how much force is going into the ice.
That's the one that is giving us an idea of what's happening in terms of the amount of force that we're generating when we're pushing off.
Other test sites would see if all that force was being used effectively. And this is what they consistently found.
That there is quite an increase in range of motion, a 15 to 20 degree increase in your ability to push down and to flex your foot.
That changes the stride.
We're able to do a more complete push-off with the skate, so we can completely extend the foot right down. The effect is not just at the ankle, but at the knee and at the hip. The whole kinematics, or the way in which you move the joint, changes.
And that generates more force.
About a 15% increase in work and power during push-off with that skate.
How did BAUER do it? That's the part we can't show you. But we can tell you this boot was once a flat and very thin piece of special material.
We take the flat sheet, heat it up, and we actually form it into the foot shape, which we did not have the capability of doing before.
The material is a version of polypropylene with what's called rebound memory.
When you flex forward, there will be some movement in the skate quarters, but it reacts and snaps back into its original position. So it feels like a spring in your step, so to speak.
And this part helps with range of motion as well, the nylon tendon guard. Here it's being put to a torture test. It's a piece that'll see 1,000 strides a game. This new flexibility allows each of those strides to be a wee bit longer. Also helping the stride is the skate's overall weight loss. Consider the change in the blade alone.
The upper portion is made out of high-grade aluminum, and the lower portion is made out of your regular stainless steel, so you can sharpen your blade. So this here, we reduce weight by close to 40%. When I started here at BAUER 18 years ago, the Elite skate was at around 1,100 grams. Today, what we're launching here at market will be under 700 grams, so it's quite a drop. And it's all based on different use of materials that are more efficient.
Can you go lower?
For sure. Actually, we are testing something on the ice right now that's in the 400-gram range.
That's something else that we can't show you.
You have to be careful how you introduce models and not be too brusque or too different, because you could get some pushback.
From the players?
Well, from the players, and also because physically they would be using different muscle groups and they'd have to retrain. So by bringing it in slow increments, we felt that was the best strategy.
So they won't go to 400 grams right away. But a skate as light as air seems to be in the future.
It feels amazing. It's in the same weight range as a running shoe, so it's promising, and who knows where that'll go.
If only I had those super skates for my race with Matt Fratton.
3,